Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
It was a day that Victor Reyes will never, ever forget. On Sunday in New York, the rookie outfielder authored his first 4-hit game of his career, not to mention his first home runs as well. Big smiles from Reyes yesterday as the roadshow continues to Chicago. We're at Guaranteed Rate Field today. Game 1 in this 3-game series featuring the White Sox and the Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. We are glad to have you with us here. Game 1, it's a Labor Day matinee here at the ballpark today. Victor Reyes, certainly the story yesterday in New York, Rod, and I tell you what, he is not going to forget that day anytime soon.
Well, you know, New York is the big stage, and he played like he was on the big stage in yesterday's game. But I just love the patience of all of his at-bats yesterday. Career-high 4 games. A couple of those, he just flipped down the third baseline. And then the third hit, he got jammed, but he fought it off to the shortstop. And then they tried to come inside, and he turned on him for a big fly. So he played like he was a veteran last year, and he's a Rule 5 drafted player.
All right, now he was not the only story yesterday. Tigers put up 11 runs to the ball game on 17 hits, but it was the bottom 3 in the lineup that really came through.
Yeah, Simon likes to call them bottom feeders, and it was El Felino. That was Ronnie Rodriguez. He got the party going pretty much for that bottom 3 in yesterday's contest. He had 3 knocks in the game, but Ronnie really been banging that whole series. You take a look at the overall body of work. Rodriguez, Lugo, Reyes, they had a lot of fun playing in New York. Lugo making major league debut, and all he did was hit 5 extra base hits, 9 RBIs for all these guys. And then how about the coming out party yesterday for the youngster Victor Reyes, who continues to show us lots of tools. He's going to be a really good player and a really nice find for the Tigers. And we're starting to see with Victor why, Mario, the Tigers elected to keep him on the 25-man roster. This guy's going to be a good big league player.
All right, now as far as the matchup goes today, 2 guys that have elite stuff, but when you look at the numbers, it doesn't really match up to the stuff they have. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting today.
You know, I talked to Michael Fulmer after his last start that he had in Kansas City, and he just didn't know what happened. He told me, man, I had a great fastball in the bullpen. I had a wipeout slider, I had a good changeup, but didn't translate onto the mound. And he's hoping to take it out there today against a White Sox team that strikes out quite a bit. They might lead the world in strikeouts. And then we start talking about Ronaldo. This guy's got a big arm. He's got big upside. He's got a great fastball. But fastball pitchers don't necessarily bother the Tigers. If Lopez is using his slider and his changeup the way the White Sox want him to do it, he might present some problems. But if he tries to overpower us today, the Tigers just might have as much fun as they had yesterday in the Bronx.
All right, we hope so. We are just minutes away from Game 1 in this series. Stay with us after a short break. Back to the Call Sam Studios in Mickey York. Well, he certainly has been Big Stick Nick against the White Sox. Nearly 400 against the White Sox staff this year. Castellanos and the Tigers taking on the Sox next. Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Jeep, hurry in and get a great deal at the Jeep Labor Day sales event. And by Greektown Casino Hotel, the only casino in the heart of downtown Detroit. Sunny, humid, and warm afternoon here in Chicago as we welcome you to Guaranteed Rate Field. It is 82 degrees with 70% humidity here this afternoon. Tigers Roadshow moving to Chicago for 3. Here's the Tigers starting lineup today, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And for the Tigers, they line them up like this. It'll be Candelario, Jones, and Castellanos. Vmart is DHing, then Goodrum and McCann. And the same 3 as yesterday, Rodriguez, Lugo, Reyes. They were awfully good in New York. Reynaldo Lopez is on the mound for the White Sox, presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
Yeah, the hard-throwing Reynaldo Lopez. He's got a fastball that, as long as he stays out there, it will go anywhere from 95 to 98 miles an hour. He also has a really nice slider and a power changeup to go along with his curveball. He's got 4 pitches. Big-time prospect for the White Sox. And defensively, the White Sox will line up this way. Delmonico, Engel, and Palka in the outfield. And in the infield, they go Sanchez, Anderson, Moncada, Davidson, and Wellington and Castillo, making his first start after an 80-game PED suspension.
So here we go as Lopez climbs on top of the mound and Candelario climbs into the batter's box. We have game 1 in this 3-game series. Jamer in the leadoff slot. The first pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes on Candelario.
And Jamer had a pretty good game on Thursday in New York in front of family and friends, but the next couple of days he played in the Bronx. He struck out quite a bit. And Candy punched out 3 times yesterday.
Yeah, his first at bat, he homered in game 1 of that series. A solo shot to get things started, but it was downhill after that.
Yes, Candy's swings were awfully big in the New York series. Might have been trying to do a little bit too much.
Candelario steps out now. They played a pull on the infield with 1 defender to the left side, and that is Sanchez, the third baseman. Had to skip all the way to the backstop. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ron Gardner in his 14th season as a skipper in the big leagues, first with the Tigers. Slapped right by the third baseman, Sanchez into left, and a leadoff single for Jamer.
That first swing that Candelario took against Reynaldo Lopez was the same kind of swings he was taking in New York, those big swings, and he was coming up empty. But on this particular swing right here, it was really short, quick, and compact, and Candy just beat the defense. I mean, he just went right to the baseball. I like that swing by Candy. He might be onto something today.
Now Jacoby Jones, who is back in the 2 spot in the lineup after a double and a triple yesterday in the series finale in New York. Jacoby at .210 overall on the season. And a career high 9 home runs as well for Jones.
And one of the things that Jacoby has been working on is driving the ball the other way. Every time I watch him take batting practice, that's exactly what he's been trying to do. You see that swing right there. Looked like he was trying to shoot that hole on the right side of the infield with Jamer Candelario on first base. You shoot one here, and that will get Jamer Candelario all the way over to third base. I love Jacoby's plate appearances yesterday. He stayed in the strike zone.
There's always been a key for Jones staying in the strike zone. Now Lopez will throw back to first, and we'll keep an eye on Candelario, who does not run all that much. Candy with 2 steals this year. He's been nabbed twice as well. More of a straight up defense against Jacoby with a .210 batting average.
Now Moncada was playing a little bit more up the middle when we showed you that first look at the infield, but he watched Jacoby try to shoot that hole, so they moved him more back to his conventional spot at second. It's a good breaking ball there by Reynaldo. Good curveball. He's got all 4 pitches. Very talented pitchers they have on their team. They've got a trio of them. They're young.
Lopez only 24 years old, a native of San Pedro de Macorís. 0-2 on Jones. Just underway from Chicago on a warm afternoon for baseball. Now time is called. It appears Lopez is not on the same page here with Castillo.
Well, Castillo, this is his first game back after coming back from that suspension, so you would think there would be some growing pains today.
Well, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you will get yourself a free small order of curly fries. And maybe in the offing today, the Tigers fell a little bit short yesterday. They hit 2 homers. This is a good home run hitter's ballpark.
Especially on a day where it's as hot and humid. The ball will really travel this afternoon.
Now the 0-2, and Jones looks at strike 3 in the outside corner. Got him looking.
And the previous pitch was a really slow breaking ball, and then he and Wellington Castillo could not get on the same page. But I think that it was Castillo that won the argument. He wanted the fastball. Ronaldo wanted another off-speed pitch, and it turned out that the fastball was the right choice.
Good swing back action on that fastball there from Lopez. Here is Castellanos. Nicholas hit his 20th home run of the season yesterday, which gives him consecutive seasons of 20 homers. Drilled toward right center field. It's not deep, coming in his angle, and he'll make the play off the end of the bat of Castellanos, and there are 2 gone. Bring up Victor Martinez. Vimar woke up feeling ill today, reported to the ballpark. Ron Gardenhire was not sure that he would be able to place him in the lineup, but Vimar's been cleared to play, and here he is. He's got that average up to 251 now.
I think Victor also understands his importance in this lineup, and he's also had a wonderful career hitting in this ballpark, and this is the last time Victor's going to play in this ballpark. He's probably going to take advantage of all 3 of these days.
I want to pile up some knocks there. He's thinking. And Vimar looks at a ball high, 1-0. Martinez with 4 hits on the road trip.
2 of those homers in New York.
Really, he has hit well against the White Sox, whether at home or on the road. .323 career against the Sox. And Victor looks at a strike on the outer edge.
A real good pitch there by Lopez. Time now for the StatCast AI powered by AWS. And Victor, percentage-wise, hits a lot of balls right where their defenders are standing. Anderson and Moncada. And Moncada, the second baseman, playing about 15 steps into the outfield grass. And Victor, just like Jamer Candelario, can beat that shift pretty much whenever he wants to.
2-1.
Lopez taking a lot of time in between pitches.
Yeah, you know, I was about to say the same thing. He's been very, very methodical here.
Yeah, pace not good.
You couple that with a warm afternoon, and perhaps your defense gets a bit lethargic behind you.
And Victor has himself in a predictable fastball count, but I doubt very seriously, even though Lopez has got that big arm, and that he'll challenge Victor here. He might go with something soft. We'll see.
It'll dive low and inside, and the count goes to 3-1 now on Martinez.
Got to drink your water today, man. You got to stay hydrated today.
You are not kidding. It is warm. It is humid. Nico Goodrum waiting on deck. Tigers did a pretty good job of scoring first in that New York series. They ended up splitting the 4-game set. The 3-1 drill down the right field line. That ball is hooking, and it's going to go foul.
Yeah, the Yankees had to travel all the way to Oakland, California for a day game on the West Coast today. So their travel a little bit further than the Tigers travel. Tigers only had to travel about an hour and a half to get to Chicago from the Bronx.
That is a tough trip to make when you've got a day game the very next day. That's what the Yankees are dealing with today. 3-2 on Martinez. Jamer will be on the run here. They play behind him defensively. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, and 2 strikeouts for Lopez. Bottom of the first inning, Michael Fulmer will take them out for the Tigers. He is presented this afternoon by your Metro Detroit. Check it by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Yeah, it's the third start for Michael Fulmer since coming off the disabled list. One good start against the White Sox, was not as good his last outing against the Kansas City Royals. Michael's got a fastball, as we all know, at 95 to 98. He's got the good slider and the changeup. And one of the things I noticed about Mike when his first couple of starts off the DL, throwing that changeup a lot more frequently than he did before the injury.
He would love to shake off his last outing. We'll see what he can do here today as Delmonico swings on the first pitch and drives it deep to right center field. And that ball is gone.
Hello.
First pitch of the game is drilled out of the ballpark by Nicky Delmonico.
Well, they know that Michael Fulmer will have his foot on the gas pedal, because when he saw them in his first outing coming off the disabled list, he simply overpowered them for 4 2/3 innings. That happened quickly.
Sure did.
It's a fastball that looks like it's right down the middle and it's up in the strike zone, and Delmonico didn't miss it.
8th of the year for Delmonico, his 24th RBI, and just like that, Chicago has an early lead.
They got a leadoff home run yesterday as well in their game against the Boston Red Sox against Tim Anderson.
Sanchez flies this one to shallow right, 1 gone.
They're swinging, boy.
Now the rest of the lineup presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For Chicago, you saw Delmonico and Sanchez. Narvaez is hitting 3rd in the lineup today. Then Daniel Palka. Castillo catching, Davidson in 1st. In your bottom 3 of Moncada, Anderson, and Engel. Omar Narvaez, 284 hitter.
He's had some good numbers against the Tigers this year, some really good at-bats, and that's why Rich Renteria, their manager, has him in that number 3 spot.
Narvaez really in his entire career has hit well against the Tigers, 356. A little bit of power with 6 homers this year. Missing outside. 1-1.
And that was a changeup that Michael missed there on the 0-1 pitch. Very important for him to use that changeup today against a lot of these left-handed bats in the White Sox lineup.
Well, this is the first run that Fulmer has allowed against the Sox this year in his 2 previous starts. No runs in 10 innings. That came to a crashing halt on the Delmonico homer. On the very first pitch. 2-2 on Narvaez. Daniel Palka waiting on deck.
Here's where a slider or a changeup can get strike 3. Narvaez has pretty good plate discipline, but after trying to throw 2 fastballs right by him with no success, you may as well come back with something soft, get some weak contact, or get the swing and miss.
Drill towards center field, and Jacoby Jones cruising over.
He did come back with that slide piece, but there was nothing soft about that contact.
No, it was loud.
McLaren Health brings you the Tigers starting defense. Reyes is the superstar yesterday. He's in left field today. Jacoby Jones is in center field. You got Castellanos out in right field. You've got Rodriguez and Lugo up the middle. Candelario and Nico Goodrum over at first base, and McCannon behind the plate. Seems like Nico Goodrum, man, starts at a different position every single day.
Very versatile. You've got Reyes trying to back up a terrific game yesterday. There's ball 1 to Palka.
I guess if you're Nico Goodrum, you really don't care, though, as long as your name is written in the lineup and you can go out there and play and get 4 at-bats. I mean, you don't really care where you play.
Got that right. That's fouled straight back. Nico spent so much time in the minor leagues not getting that opportunity that he's got to be thrilled to just be in the lineup anywhere. Palka hits the ball hard. We know that. We've seen him do it several times this year against the Tigers. When he hits it, man, it goes.
He homered twice yesterday against the Boston Red Sox. The White Sox are playing some pretty good baseball right now. They've won 13 of their last 19 games.
These are 2 teams trying to finish up strong down the stretch here. The Sox are really impressing Rick Renteria, their manager, with the way they've gone about their business. The chopper slowly to the right side. Nico scooping. Fulmer covering, and that'll end the inning. They get a run on the Delmonico home run, and we go to the second.
for Nico Goodrum, courtesy of Dellin Betances. And he also shot Luis Severino. It was a 100-mile-per-hour fastball that he hit off Severino. So Goody, he really showed up in a big way in the Bronx. And not only that, he helped them win a game with his legs on Thursday.
He will get things started here in the second. Goodrum, McCann, and Ronnie Rodriguez facing Ronaldo Lopez. I don't know that you can really overstate the energy he brought to the team in that game one. And we spoke about this yesterday, but he really seemed to set the tone for that series.
Oh, it was incredible. As we take a look at the shift that they now play on Nico Goodrum, he's compiled enough data now in the big leagues that teams are starting to shift on Nico. At the beginning of the year, they weren't shifting on him that much because they didn't really know him. First career home run came right in this ballpark for Nico Goodrum.
Nico lines one to right. It is a foul ball.
I just love his skill set, man. He got 5 tools. I mean, he can run. He's got some power. He's going to hit for some average. He can throw and he can defend. Don't quite know where his best position is in the big leagues, but I have a feeling the Tigers will probably, when he comes to spring training next year, he'll have a position. They won't play him everywhere. Just my personal opinion.
Could he be one of those guys that really doesn't have a position, and the Tigers maybe will have to figure out that he is probably best served to be moved around?
Yeah, I think they might figure out he's a better outfielder than infielder. I mean, they like him at shortstop. They like him at first base. He's okay at second and third, but I think those other 2 infield positions he plays a little bit better, at least in my opinion. Shortstop and first. Looks more comfortable there to me. But I think he might slide into the outfield at some point in time. Just kind of depends on how the Tigers configure their roster in 2019. This much I do know. He's going to be on the squad.
Now Lopez with the 1-2, and Nico fouls off another.
Good at bat here by Nico. He's seen fastballs inside and breaking balls. That changeup right there. Stayed with it, fouled it all.
DJ Rayburn behind the dish today. Sam Holbrook is your crew chief down at third. Way outside, 2-2. Nico has fouled off 5 balls in this at bat here, so he's battling Lopez. Oh, got him. Strike 3. Nico not so sure. 3rd strikeout already for Lopez. Bring us to the Bernstein advantage. James McCann against Lopez. Well, the numbers speak for themselves. 7 for 13, a couple of extra base hits, a couple of RBIs.
You think James put on the chauffeur cap early this morning, went to go pick up Ronaldo, make sure he got to the ballpark?
I love that joke, man. It's a great bit.
We got in kind of late though, but I bet you James got up and went to pick him up.
James put on his Uber cap. Drove down to Lopez's house and chauffeured him to the ballpark. Made sure he got here okay. Mac 221. He is hit safely in his last 4.
I wonder how Lopez would rate his driving to the yard.
I don't know. 5-star.
Really 5 stars.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. Ooh. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a good pitch right there. I mean, anytime a guy's had that kind of success that McCann has had, you don't want to throw him a fastball in a 1-0 count. So he comes back with a really good changeup here, a fading changeup down and in, and it's a beautiful pitch.
Lopez definitely has a better rhythm when there is nobody on base, and you could probably say that about every pitcher, but in that first inning after the leadoff single by Candelario, he slowed it down. Only 24 years old. His last 5 home starts, though, have been really rocky, an ERA of over 7. That ball hammered to left field. It's going to stay in the ballpark, though, as Delmonico settles under it. 2 gone. Well, as you enjoy Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moments later in today's game. We'll bring up Ronnie Rodriguez. 5 hits in the New York series. Ronnie now settling into the shortstop position with Iglesias out of the lineup. Sox lead 1-0 on the Delmonico home run in the first inning. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2. 97 top shelf, and he swung right through it. Popped up right side of the infield. Davidson camping under it, and Lopez a quick 1-2-3 second inning. Shohei Ohtani returned to the mound last night, and George Springer welcomed him back rudely. More on that when we come back. Ohtani returned to the mound for the first time since June, but George Springer got him. A third inning 2-run shot to left. The Astros go on to beat the Angels by a score of 4-2. And I don't know about you, Rob, but I'm kind of surprised that they brought Ohtani back to the mound this year.
Yeah, I understand why anybody out there that follows the game would feel that way. But I think the Angels, they pretty much know Ohtani, and they pretty much know that he's probably 110% healthier. They wouldn't have brought him back. I don't think they would run the risk of hurting someone that has such a bright future and someone can help their organization win a championship in the near future.
A dynamic player that had his season cut short with the elbow injury, but he's back out there.
I think he threw like 49 pitches in the game yesterday. Outstanding pitch there by Michael Fulmer. He's going to have to pitch the same way that Ronaldo is, because in that very first inning, Michael Fulmer threw 12 pitches and the White Sox swung at 8 of them. So they've come out very aggressive against Michael today, which means he's going to have to mix in a few off-speed pitches early.
Castillo lines one to center field, sinking. Jacoby runs it down.
We have two of your better young center fielders in all of baseball in action here today. Engel for them is unbelievable in center field, and Jacoby Jones is a tremendous outfielder. I saw a stat yesterday in New York. They had it on their scoreboard, and it said that Jacoby Jones defensive saved runs this year. No one in the outfield in the big leagues have saved more runs than Jacoby. Nobody. He's number one.
Well, I was about to make the argument that yes, Engel is very good, but I would think that Jacoby Jones, and we obviously see him play a whole lot more, is every bit as good as you look at the defensive runs saved.
Oh, look at him. Look at those names of those guys on that list too. Inciarte and Kane and Betts, and Jacoby sitting on the top.
Matt Davidson, the batter here in the second. The Tigers trail 1-0. And on the Delmonico home run. Davidson also a guy that has had great success against the Tigers. .340 career with a lot of power, 7 homers.
White Sox have quite a few guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. They've got some table setters, but in the middle of their order, man, they've got some pop. When Abreu's healthy, they've got Davidson. This Polka kid has really got a lot of power. And Moncada, their second baseman, he's got some pop in his bat.
Back up the middle, and Lugo throws him out. 2 gone. Here is the playoff picture in the American League as we delve into September now. It's starting to get heated, and right now the Red Sox lead the Yanks out east, and Cleveland has pretty much settled into the Central. Houston and Oakland still to be decided. Don't forget Seattle.
That Oakland team still the surprise team for me in the American League. What Bob Melvin has been able to get out of his group. Bob Melvin probably should be the manager of the year in the American League this season. The work they've done. They are nearly 30 games over 500.
I would agree with that, and it's really hard to argue that.
Their third baseman, Chapman, he's going to win a platinum glove, not a gold glove. He's going to get the platinum glove this year. That's how good he is.
Well, the guy that has been considered the best third baseman defensively in the game, Nolan Arenado, recently said that Chapman's better than him. I mean, even Nolan admitted.
Didn't they play on the same high school team together?
They did, yeah. They were teammates.
How about that? Do you think anything got through the left side of the infield?
I would imagine no. Literally nothing. Not with those 2 guys. 2-0 Moncada with 2 outs. Rifled foul.
Moncada's got a lot of power and a lot of promise, and he's going to have a really long big league career. They think he might hit 30 home runs at some point in time in a White Sox uniform, but they've got to get him to stop swinging and missing. He is closing in on 200 strikeouts this year.
Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Moncada. Fulmer now has thrown 15 strikes, and the Sox have swung at all 15 of those pitches. They've not taken a called strikes. They're very aggressive today. Edelman inside, full count now, 3-2.
Well, you talked about the success that Michael had coming into this contest against White Sox bats this year. And so I'm sure they've watched a lot of video, a lot of data to see what Michael was doing, and they've come out today in a very aggressive mode. Nice change piece right there.
2-out walk for Moncada. First walk of the ball game now for Fulmer, and that'll bring up Tim Anderson. 15 strikes through his first 25 pitches.
Told you yesterday that Tim Anderson homered against the Boston Red Sox to lead off the game. And for the Sox on Hawk Harrelson Day.
It's quite a day here yesterday, I understand. Hawk being honored. Little miss inside, 1-0. Anderson trying to get to 20 home runs. He is at 18 right now, and should he do it, and odds are that he will before the season is over, he will be the first Sox shortstop to hit 20 since Alexei Ramirez.
Alexei.
2010. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Anderson basically replaced Alexei here as the starting shortstop.
Signed to a big contract early in his career. Multi-year deal, I should say, at least.
Yeah, he was signed to that contract after just 1 year. Maybe not even a full season.
It was half a year.
Well, they identified him as the future, obviously. To give him that length of a contract, they believe he's going to be the double play combination with Moncada for the foreseeable future. He's got some really quick hands. He's a really good fastball hitter. You can get him to chase, though, like that. But if you throw a fastball over the plate, he's looking for a fastball, he don't usually miss them.
To go with his 18 home runs, 25 stolen bases. hits, 3 homers, and 12 homers. A little messed up on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Probably RBIs, right?
Rolled foul. Well, the numbers don't jive here.
Yeah.
None of them do, actually. They're all wrong. Average is wrong. At bats is wrong.
It is.
It's one of those days for the scoreboard.
They switch it quickly. Quick turnaround.
It's gone now. Fulmer now with the 1-2. He will chase Moncada back. Moncada can run 11 steals this year, although his ratio not the greatest. He's been caught 6 times. White Sox came into this game having won 7 of their last 10. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. That'll end the inning as Fulmer records his first strikeout of the ball game. Sox have a 1-0 lead on the Delmonico home run. And here is Chevrolet's most dependable player as Dawel Lugo comes strolling in, the first Tigers player with multi 3-hit games in the first 4 that he's played in the big leagues. Last to do it, Tip Corcoran back in 1977.
Had a nice conversation today with Ron Gardenhire regarding Dawel Lugo, and he said he came to spring training this year and he was limited with a very sore ankle, right ankle, and really couldn't do the things that the Tigers really liked for him to do.
Ball in the air to shallow left, and Tim Anderson runs it down.
He said he's a third baseman by trade, but he really likes the way that he's moving right now. Said he looked like he lost a little weight from spring training and athletically moving a lot better at second base.
Well, this final month is certainly going to be a month of opportunity, not only for Lugo, but for Rodriguez and Reyes and all the young players in the Tigers lineup. A strong finish would certainly send them into the offseason on a positive note. Reyes looks at a strike.
And Victor had a huge smile on his face yesterday, and rightfully so. First 4-hit game of his career.
Victor was 1 hit shy of the cycle, a triple shy of the cycle. Swing and a miss. Earlier this year, he was a home run shy of the cycle in a ball game back in May against the Angels. sliced foul.
And Victor did that a couple of times yesterday down the left field line in Yankee Stadium.
Toward left center field, hit pretty good. Engel is on the run, still going, diving. Oh, he can't hold on. Engel almost made a spectacular play, and Reyes, who was running all the way, goes to third. What an attempt by Engel, almost a circus catch.
Then Victor needed that triple yesterday. He was in for the cycle in the Bronx. Look at how much ground Engel covers. We told you he's a standout defender. He gets there, but the ground causes the ball to come out of the glove. And Victor Reyes, never stopped running over at third base with a triple. Another extra base hit. He just continues to roll.
Engel caught that ball. What a play. I didn't think he had a shot of getting there.
Oh, he's got great range. He is a superior defender. We talked about he and Jacoby Jones last half inning.
There's Candelario now with the third baseman Sanchez in tight, tying run at third. In there, a strike called on Jamer.
I would think that Reyes with his speed would be coming on contact here with just one out. Any ground ball toward shortstop, second base, first base will get you a run. That's exactly where Candelario should be trying to hit the ball.
Jamer had a single to start the ball game, went the other way, but the Tigers could not even advance him. Trying to drive in a run now in this at bat. 2-1. Candy homered on Thursday at Yankee Stadium. His 16th of the year. Did he go? He went around, and Jamer didn't like it. That was called by DJ Rayburn at home.
Yeah, I don't think Jamer really thinks that he did, but you look at the intent here, and the intent was to swing there. I don't think he was able to check his swing. It's all about the intent.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Lopez comes back to strike him out.
That is the fourth strikeout of the afternoon already for the very talented Reynaldo Lopez. This time he goes up top with a mid-90s fastball to get Jamer to swing and miss. Well, 97 to be exact.
Well, his stuff has been good so far. He has induced 9 swings and misses already in this game. That'll bring up Jones. Jacoby froze in there, strike one.
The one thing that Ronaldo has done very well here in the first 3 innings is he started several Tigers off with an off-speed pitch, and he's been able to throw it for a strike. And it's really a good pitch for him because most of the hitters, they have to respect that 97-mile-per-hour fastball on the very first pitch.
Oh, 2 now on Jones, who fanned in the first inning. Lopez with 4 punch-outs. Tigers trying to take advantage of the 1-out triple by Reyes. Now the 0-2 from Lopez. Ooh, it hit him. It barely got him, and Jacoby is nicked. That's a break there for the Tigers. He was behind in the count 0-2.
It really is a break for the Tigers because Nicholas Castellanos comes to the plate with a couple of runners aboard. He's killed their pitching this season. Nick fly to center field in the first inning.
Castellanos had a 7-hit series against the Yankees.
And he kind of started out a little slow.
He did.
And most of those hits came last couple of days.
Did not have a good series in KC either.
He wasn't by himself.
I think, by the way, the Tigers Player of the Month in August. He knocked in 15 last month.
I know Jim Adduce probably gave him a run for his money. Adduce had a pretty nice month of August too.
Castellanos the tying run at third and the go-ahead run at first.
And Jacoby has good speed. Don't know if he's in a running mood here with Castellanos in the batter's box, but he can swipe a bag. The thing about this situation, yeah, you'd love to get Jacoby down in the scoring position as well, and that would allow Nicholas the opportunity to possibly drive in 2. But the flip side of that is, if you do give Jacoby the green light and he gets thrown out, you don't want Nicholas standing in that batter's box. And when you get thrown out,
Castillo 28% in throwing out runners.
Ronaldo is slow, not quick getting the ball to Castillo. He gave Jacoby a slide step that time, so he was a little quicker.
The VP brighter picture when you look at Nicholas Castellanos and this season against the Sox, 382. 19 RBIs and 11 extra base hits versus Chicago pitching. And Jacoby draws a throw. Jones this year, 10 steals, been caught 5 times. Reyes tripled to left center field and then a hit batter. And again, with runners on base, Lopez has shut down the pace of this game. Ronaldo came in pitching some of his best baseball lately. He allowed just 3 earned runs in his last 12 2/3 entering play today. Really good start his last time out. Didn't go.
Here's a count, though, that if you're Jacoby Jones, you might want to run the risk of maybe trying to steal a bag, because if it's a fastball, Nicholas is going to put it in play if it's a strike, and if it's a breaking ball, that will give you a nice running jump to steal the base. And we'll see if Jacoby's on the move.
Runner holds, swing and a miss. Now 2-2 on Nick.
That's exactly what I was talking about right there. Had Jacoby been running on that breaking ball, he's probably going to be safe.
Sox ERA in their last 10 games, 2.82. They have been throwing the baseball very well. The Tigers trying to get to Lopez here.
And the White Sox had a pretty nice week against the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. A couple of teams about 85 games over 500. They went 4-3 on the week, so not a bad week for White Sox.
Renteria happy with the way his team is playing down the stretch here as they begin to build for next season as well. They've got to be excited about their pitching staff. The way it is really starting to take shape.
I would agree with that. We're going to see all 3 of the youngsters that probably will be in their rotation next year. Lopez, Giolito, and Kopech. All young, all hard throwers.
Here's the 2-2. 3-2 now on Castellanos. Vimard waiting on deck. This will give the Tigers an opportunity here to start the runner at first base, Jones. He walked him. Nope, fouled it off. He just got a piece of it on the check swing. Castellanos still kicking down there at home plate. Fouled it right out of the glove of Castillo. Or did he?
Looked like Castellanos was getting ready to walk somewhere. I don't know what he was doing there.
And again, the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out to end the threat. 5 strikeouts for Reynaldo Lopez. And we'll go to the bottom of the third.
They're nearly 30 feet per second. The major league average is 24 feet per second. So you can see that Adam Engel is well above the average as far as his sprint speed is concerned in center field.
Tigers had an opportunity there, but they ended up stranding Reyes at third base. Still 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Be Engel to lead things off, then Delmonico and Yolmer Sanchez.
Engel really has been playing some good baseball the last couple of weeks. His bat has really perked up.
Over his last 16 games, a .339 average in that span, so he has bumped his overall average up to .238. That was the first called strike from Fulmer today. A wave and a miss.
Good slide piece there at 90 miles an hour. It's a little harder for most sliders, but it's good. It worked for Michael.
With the chopper back to the mound. Fulmer waits for it to fall in his glove and then throws him out. One away, you bring in Johnny Kane.
Yeah, guys, have a real good look at Michael Fulmer's delivery from out here in center field. And the one thing he was telling me about yesterday was the fact that he wants to get back to the same type of delivery he had in 2016 when he went on to win American League Rookie of the Year honors. And essentially what they're trying to do, he's been working with Rick Anderson, the pitching coach for the Tigers, said they poured over countless hours of video. And what Rick says is he was beginning to open up a little bit and trying to spot his pitches, and that's not really him. He said naturally he kind of has that violent type of delivery. And what they want him to do is stay closed a little bit longer and come across his body a little bit more than it is. Not too much, because that's where you get into some trouble, but they want him coming across his body a little bit more. So Michael says, hey, listen, I know it may not have been the cleanest delivery, but for me, that was the most effective. So they had a really good session out in the last bullpen. Now he's trying to carry it into today, and if you see success today, I think that's something we'll expect to see over the final 4 or 5 starts of the year for him.
That's great stuff, Johnny. And Rick Anderson has been very proactive with all of the Tiger starters and relievers and making whatever adjustment he feels like will help them get better. But I think the main thing he's done with all the pitchers, fastball command. He's gotten everybody back to the old school way of thinking. Nothing you can do is going to be positive for you unless you can command your fastball first.
Here is Delmonico with 1 out. He jumped Fulmer on the first pitch he saw in the first inning and homered against him.
They've been very aggressive all afternoon against Michael. Very few pitches that he has thrown in the vicinity of the strike zone that they have not taken a swipe at. Always a lot of Tiger fans here when we come to Chicago.
Fulmer, for as good as his stuff is, has not won a game since beating the Twins on June the 14th. Now, he has spent a little time on the disabled list, so that has eaten up part of that time. But his record is ERA not indicative of the talent that he has. Swing and a miss, and Delmonico is out this time.
Here's those adjustments that Johnny was speaking of that Rick Anderson made on Michael Fulmer. He went pretty much back to what he was doing in 2016 when he had a really good year. You can see he's a little bit more spread out down at the bottom, and this is going to help his hands. And take a look at the arm swing here. In 18, the arm swing was real short. In 16, you see the arm swing, it was a lot longer. When you have that arm swing where you really get back like Verlander did, your pitches work much better for you. And we all know Michael had a pretty good year in 2016.
Rookie of the year that year. Sanchez looks at a strike. It seems that Fulmer so many times this year would cruise to the first couple of innings, then all of a sudden in one inning it would just fall apart.
Well, it was like that 6th or 7th inning at the beginning of the year. That was his bugaboo. He could not get past that inning for whatever reason. But he pushed through that shortly before he went on the disabled list, and since he's come back, he's been pretty much on somewhat of a pitch count. So we'll see what he does today. There's no limitations as far as the pitch count today for Michael.
Sanchez flying to right field in the first. He is 0 for 1. This is the first of a 3-game series here. The Tigers meeting up with the White Sox for the final time. In fact, the Tigers have won all 6 so far this year in this ballpark, sweeping a couple of 3-game series earlier this season.
And Michael overthrew those last 2 fastballs to Yomer, excuse me. Exactly what Rick Anderson was talking about. Every now and then Fulmer's delivery will get violent and that front shoulder will come off a little bit prematurely, and he'll leave those balls up and away to the left-handed batters.
Walked him.
Here are the last 2 pitches, but really he did the exact same thing on all 3 of those. And when you open up a little bit too soon, you watch that front shoulder. When that front shoulder starts to fly open like right there, you see the front shoulder's gone. Now once he delivers the ball, the arm never catches up. So if the arm never catches up, then you're going to throw those balls up and away from the left-handed batter and up and in to the right-handed batter. So just a real minor adjustment. And I'm sure Michael will make it right here. So one thing about Michael, he kind of knows what he's doing on the mound, and by those 2 pitches, he knows what he needs to do to get back in the strike zone. And watch him bury that front shoulder this time toward home plate.
Way outside 1-0.
No, he hadn't figured it out yet.
96 on that fastball from Fulmer. Narvaez flying to center field, his only time up. And now Fulmer's missed on 5 straight.
A lot of times when you have a pitcher out there like Michael and he's kind of struggling with the front shoulder and commanding the fastball, you call for an off-speed pitch. It's a concentration pitch, whether it's the changeup or the breaking ball, and it forces Michael to concentrate a little bit more on mechanics. And a lot of times that will get pitchers back on track. They did go with the changeup, but he continues to miss off the plate to the lefties.
Clouds starting to roll in. There is some rain in the area. We're hoping it will skirt around the ballpark. Don't know if that's going to happen, though.
Or show up after we leave. One or the two.
Way inside, bouncing in, and all of a sudden it's 3-1. Fulmer's had to work now. In his last 3 hitters, he has thrown 16 pitches. He struck out Delmonico, but then he walked Sanchez. Now he's gone 3-1 on Narvaez. 3-2.
This is Narvaez's first career start as a designated hitter and batting in the number 3 spot. Jose Abreu still on the disabled list. He's usually the guy that occupies the number 3 spot for the White Sox. At least he had the last 4 years.
Runner will go on 3-2. And it's ball 4. He lost him.
And Rick Anderson's going to have to go out now and maybe calm Michael down. We'll see.
Celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Tigers' '68 World Series team on September 8th. Special pregame on-field ceremony, and the first 20,000 fans receive a '68 replica road jersey courtesy of Comerica Bank. Go to tigers.com for more info. I really thought Rick Anderson would have made a visit here, but he's not.
He's starting to stir in that dugout. I don't know if he went over to pick up the phone or not, but he and Ron Gardenhire both got out of their seats, and they're starting to stir a little bit.
Daniel Polka will stand in with 2 on 2 outs.
And be careful with Polka, especially on first pitch fastballs.
Little chopper up the middle should get him out of the inning, and it will. We'll get the force at second to retire the side. Tigers baseball this afternoon presented by Bell Tire.
those guys are scheduled to join the Tigers here as September call-ups, but they're needed down at AAA still.
Talking to David Littlefield, the vice president of player development, who is traveling with the team. He was also in New York and now here in Chicago. He says he's probably going to be traveling to Durham to watch the Toledo Mud Hens in the postseason. How about that? Tigers had nice minor league system. If West Michigan wins today, I believe they make it to the playoffs. But if they lose today, they don't make it. So it's a big game today for West Michigan too.
Toledo 73 and 65 this year.
And of course the Gulf Coast League won a championship. So that's a good sign when you start to win at the minor league level, because when you start to bring these kids up from the minor leagues, they've all played together, they've all won together, and you know that breeds success. Kind of like what happened in Kansas City and back in the day in Minnesota, the Houston Astros. There's a lot of examples of it.
Martinez starting things off here. Fouls one back out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And Victor got a good fastball to hit right there. Fouled it straight back.
Tigers also said they're going to bring up Matt Manning and Bo Burrows to Chicago here on Wednesday to have them throw some bullpens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and kind of chat with A.J. Sager, who's going to be here, and Rick Anderson, Gardy. A chance to look at him in a bullpen session.
I might have to sneak out there too. You know what time they're throwing?
I do not. We will find
See
that
if
out.
you can get that info. We can
make sure you get a front row seat.
I'd like to watch too.
I'm sure it'll be pretty impressive. 2 of the top Tigers pitching prospects.
Manning is pitching today.
He is.
His second start in AA.
High fly ball left center field. Engel to the gap to make the catch, and V-Mart is 0 for 2, 1 away. We'll bring up Nico Goodrum. By the way, if you can't catch games, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the Fox Sports app. Download the Fox Sports app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Is made available by Oakland University. Nico struck out in the second. Tigers have a pair of hits, but they trail 1-0. We were chatting yesterday on the guys that Nico has gotten hitting home runs against this year. He got Severino and Betances, right?
Yep.
In New York.
Yep.
2 big timers. He's also gotten Carrasco this year.
Yep.
He's gotten Paxton, and he's gotten Barrios.
Ooh.
So his list is long of pretty good pitchers he has hit homers against.
Some aces.
This one in the air to center field, playable for Engel. Nico is out 2 away.
Most of the Tiger outs today have been made in the air. He's been able to get in on a lot of these guys. A few ground balls and quite a few strikeouts, but quite a few outs via the fly ball. And a lot of them to center field.
There you go, 6 flyouts.
Yeah, there you have. There's proof of that.
5 strikeouts, nothing on the ground. McCann flied to left. That was in the second. Lights are on now at the ballpark here, as the clouds surround Guaranteed Rate Field. The good sign is, and believe me, these grounds crews know what goes on because they're well connected. The tarp still has its cover on down the left field line, so that's good news.
That's always a telltale sign.
Well, I would think so. If they're anticipating some rain could be here soon, that cover comes off.
It's dark back there.
Yeah, now those clouds, they're speaking a different language right now. They don't care what the tarp's doing. McCann looks at a strike 0-1.
Well, let's just hope that there's no weather delays. That means that allows us to get out of here in a timely manner and go out and have a really nice dinner in Chicago.
Because really, that's all that matters.
Well, I didn't want to say it, but.
With 2 on McCann. I read between the lines. Lopez got the Tigers 1-2-3 in the second, trying to do it again here in the fourth.
And Lopez has got that power fastball. He's gotten all the way up to 98 here today. He's mixed in quite a few breaking pitches. Tigers really have not been able to barrel him up. They haven't hit many balls hard today against Ronaldo.
That one just missed. 1-2. Ronnie Rodriguez on deck should McCann reach. Count him, strike 3 and a borderline pitch. 5 make it 6 strikeouts for Lopez. Tire for tires and auto service. Everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And it's a Chevy Labor Day sales event. Ride out the summer in a new Chevrolet. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer. Clouds are getting darker and darker. Tarper's still covered. Who's going to win? Fulmer back to the hill as we go to the bottom of the fourth. And it'll be Castillo to lead things on.
In between innings, though, the head grounds crew keeper, Roger Bossard, was out conversing with the crew chief. So there is some weather on the way.
1 ball, 1 strike on Wellington Castillo, who flied to center in the second. This ball game started with a bang for the White Sox as Delmonico homered in the first. On the first pitch he saw from Fulmer to make it 1-0, and that has been it so far. Castillo, prior to being popped 80 days and suspended, was 10 for his previous 12. And you'll look at strike 3. He's punched out of there, 1 gone.
A lot of strikeouts today by both gentlemen looking. After the previous pitch, the slider down and away, he came back with that good fastball at 97 on the black outside, and it froze Wellington.
Here is Matt Davidson. Big swing.
Michael Fulmer walked a couple of batters in the third frame, but he's come out here in the fourth throwing nothing but strikes. I'm sure Rick Anderson probably had a little bit of a message for Michael in that front shoulder to get him back on track. Here's the ground screw keeper, the head ground screw keeper, having a conversation with the umpires, making sure they know exactly what's going on.
Everyone's got the radar on their weather apps.
Yep.
So everybody knows what's going on.
Well, everybody's a weatherman these days. Walked into Ron Gardenhire's office this afternoon. He was watching his computer. He was watching the storm that's down in Florida right now. And he said, here's the storm. And there was a little red dot. And his house was right there. And he says his house is going to be okay, but he was dialed in to what was going on down in Florida right now. So he had some other things on his mind. Real life stuff.
Meanwhile, Fulmer continues to pump in fastballs. That last one in 97 to Davidson. Yoan Moncada waiting on deck. We're in the fourth. Up top, now the count fills 3-2. Michael has walked 3 batters. Just got a piece of it. Fans appear to be headed for cover. There's a little bit of a light rain falling now. It's directly over the stadium. And that is high, ball 4.
That is the 4th walk in the game for Michael. That is unusual.
Well, Menards brings you the big money encounter, the highest in-zone whiff rate this season. And this is what we've talked about concerning the White Sox. They will strike out a lot.
That's in the zone.
That's in zone, correct. So it's not even chase.
Yeah, not necessarily out of the zone. Those are strikes. Well, Michael needs another strikeout here or a ground ball for a double play.
Ball high.
And Tigers playing an unconventional defense, so it's going to be a weird kind of double play if they're able to turn it.
Roger Bostard and his crew at the ready if needed.
Well, rain is coming. Fans are starting to scatter a little bit.
Wow. That looks ominous. Look at the skyline of downtown Chicago. Barely visible. One and 0 on Moncada with 1 on 1 out. We're in the fourth. Moncada has one of the 4 walks.
Michael having such a difficult time of getting the ball over the heart of the plate. James McCann may as well set up inside. It's a good change up there that he was able to find the strike zone with, but a lot of times if a pitcher also is struggling with the command of the fastball, he leaves them away. You set up a little bit further inside to see if that helps him make an adjustment.
High fly ball, center field for Jacoby Jones, drifting back. He'll go to the warning track to make the catch. 2 gone.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on the Michael Fulmer fastball today. He's touched 97 and has gone as low as 87, more than likely with the slider. We've seen some sliders at 90. We've seen some at 87, 88.
It is so dark here at the ballpark, the lights have actually taken effect. It seems like a night game here. It's got that same feel, that same look. Anderson struck out in the second. fouled away, and now they count 1-1. Five stolen bases this year for Anderson, good for 6th in the American League.
Come down real bad.
1-2. Fulmer now is at 71 pitches here in the 4th. 4 walks, part of the problem. Here's the 1-2.
White Sox have fouled off a lot of pitches today, and that's why that pitch count is up. He has had a little wildness, but they have fouled off quite a few pitches too.
$14 to be exact. Chopper to the shortstop. They'll get the force. That'll end the inning. No runs, a walk. 1 man left. On to the 5th.
They just got off. That would be Rodriguez, Lugo, and Reyes. 16 for 38, 421. They had bunches of extra base hits, 9 RBI in the series. Reyes had 4 hits yesterday, a career high, and he also hit his first major league home run. Really enjoyed the energy that the rookies played with in the Bronx in very hostile environment.
So Ronnie Rodriguez will lead it off. It'll be the bottom 3. Ronnie, then Lugo, then Reyes.
Second consecutive at bat that Lopez has led off Ronnie Rodriguez with a breaking ball. You guys know why. Ronnie likes to swing that stick.
He's a hacker. Ronnie popped up in the 2nd inning. He is 0 for 1. Lopez got the Tigers 1-2-3 in the 4th.
And Ronnie had 3 hits yesterday. He's pretty much been flawless at shortstop too. And since Iglesias landed on the disabled list, Castillo and Lopez just cannot get on the same page.
It has been like that since the 1st inning. Umbrellas are out. Down the left field line, heading to foul ground, and that one is out of play. Delmonico runs out of room.
Well, if you don't have an umbrella, use your Converse.
I mean, who wouldn't use their shoes?
Well, his hair's too pretty. Look at his hair, man. He's like, I can't get my hair wet.
That's a sweet Dick Allen shirt, too, he's wearing.
Dick Allen was some kind of kid. I wonder if he even knows who Dick Allen was.
I'm sure he has no idea, but it's a cool shirt.
It is a cool shirt. Dick Allen was a beast, man. I mean, everybody thought that Dick Allen was my dad when, you know, I got into pro ball. I mean, everywhere I'd go, people would always ask me, I mean, you related to Dick Allen, obviously, with the name.
Say yes?
No. Then there was a kid that got to the big leagues named Allen with the Cleveland a few years ago, and everybody started asking me, is that your son?
Greg Allen, yeah. Check this dude out.
Yeah.
I love that shirt, and I love the shoe.
But, dude, I'm telling you, he does not want to get his hair messed up. It's all about his hair. She's like, oh, you're embarrassing me.
She looks like she doesn't care. There's a ground ball deep and short. Anderson, long throw. Wow.
Ooh.
What a throw by Tim Anderson.
He can make that play as well as Derek Jeter used to make that play. That play in the hole, and Ronnie got some decent speed. For Tim Anderson to go that far to his right, Mario, and then jump in the air and turn the body and get this much on the throw is special. You don't see many shortstops with that kind of arm strength. Look how he throws this ball with this kind of accuracy. Fast wrist. I thought maybe Davidson was off the bag, but looked like he stayed on.
Dawel Lugo popped up in his only at bat. Fouled away. A 7-hit series in New York for Lugo, who has settled into second base now that Rodriguez has gone to short, and Nico's been all around the infield and outfield. Good opportunity here in September to see what Lugo could do at this level. Knocked in 59 down in the minor leagues this year. That one stays high now, 3-2. Victor Reyes will be next. Game's only run coming in the first on the Nicky Delmonico home run. That is it. Pulled to third base on the backhand there. Sanchez got him by a step.
The youngster Victor Reyes had a day to remember yesterday in the Bronx. It was his first start in the new Yankee Stadium, and he really showed up in a big way. His first couple of at-bats, he sliced the ball down the left field line. He got doubles and RBIs on those two plate appearances. Then he got jammed on a breaking ball. He fought one off over the head of the shortstop in his final knock of the day. Big fly there. Actually, I had them mixed up. Home run, then the base hit. That's our call, Sam. Call of the game.
Reyes this year, as he has gotten more playing time and more reps and more at bats, has begun to show the promise that the Tigers knew he had in spring camp. That's why they kept him.
Looking more and more comfortable every day. How happy were his teammates for him yesterday after connecting for his first home run of his career.
A lot of smiles. Sliced up the middle, but Anderson gets there on 2 hops, throws in the dirt, and scooped by Davidson. 1-2-3 inning, 3 ground ball outs here in the 5th for Lopez.
had in mid-August. He robbed 3 home runs over the gate, 3 of them in 1 week here at this ballpark. It's an amazing week he had, stealing homers with his athleticism and his speed.
And he made a great catch, a diving catch on Reyes earlier in the game, but he could not hold on. Once he hit the ground, the ball popped out. Engel, Delmonico, Sanchez here in the 5th inning, and Adam Engel is 0 for 1 with the ground out.
Not a lot of offense in this one here today. Only 2 hits for the White Sox. For the Tigers, and 1 for the White Sox. Theirs happened to be a leadoff homer.
Yeah, that was Nicky Delmonico in the first pitch he saw in the 1st inning from Fulmer. Michael has battled his command all day, his control, I should say. He's got 4 walks in this game.
Well, Michael talked about, and Johnny Kane had this story, talked about going back to his mechanics in 2016. He wanted to get back to that year. That's where he had his most success in the big leagues. And it's not easy to do. You cannot expect to, okay, one day I'm going to go back to the way I used to do things, and then you go out there, you expect everything to click. There's going to be some trial and error, I would think.
Fulmer's 2016 season was a special one for him. Won the Rookie of the Year that year.
What I remember about that year was Michael Fulmer's changeup. He pitched. He looked like he was a 10-year veteran. He used his fastball probably 55% of the time. That changeup usage was almost like 20%. He hasn't used that changeup that much since the rookie season.
Up and in. Well, he was 11-7 that year, but his ERA was 3.06. Had a very good whip of 1.119.
Brad Osman said, well, we're going to give Michael Fulmer 1 start. We're going to see how it goes. Michael never went back to the minors.
No, that start went well. Engel strikes out. 1 gone here in the 5th. Tigers will finish up their 68th 50th anniversary weekend on Sunday, the 9th of September at 1:10. Get there early. It's going to be a pregame Q&A with members of the 68 World Series team. The first 10,000 fans as well receive a 68 replica pennant, brought to you by Comerica Bank. Tigers.com for more info. Cardinals will be in town. Tigers will be back home. It'll be a fun weekend to celebrate the 1968 team. Pulled on the ground to first, smothered there by Nico. 2 away. Let's bring up Yolmer Sanchez. It's funny, we talk about Fulmer today, Rod, how he's not had the really good control. He's kind of fought himself. If you look at the scoreboard, he's given up 1 hit.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. He really is. But Michael would be honest with you, too. He would say that he kind of fought himself today, but it just kind of gives you an idea of just how special Michael is and how talented Michael is. So he can come out here and dominate this offense and yet not really have the great command today. And he continues to kind of miss on the same side, though. So it's an easy fix for them whenever they get a chance to fix it.
Two and 0 on Yolmer Sanchez, a walk and a fly ball. The other base runners for the Sox, aside from the home run, have all been walks. Down the right field line, that's going to be foul.
There have been several balls already today that have been hit for both teams down the foul line. That it just went foul. What do you got in the ball boy's gear down there? Or the ball man? Not your style?
Nah, just kind of okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are ball guys. Ball men. Here's the 2-1.
They got one on the other side, man. I was watching him walk to his position, man. He looks like he likes to Spend some time in the weight room down the other side.
Is he wearing a poncho?
No, he ain't got no poncho,
I
man.
didn't
You
think
ain't
so.
gonna mess up my style.
2-2 on Yolmer Sanchez. There he is.
Yeah, he got his glove. He ready.
Chopped to first base. Nico and easy hop takes it himself. Fulmer a 1-2-3 fifth inning. Here at the ballpark today, and well, the other guy had one shoe, that guy has two. Whatever it takes. But let's talk about the game here, because the Tigers trailing by just a run in this one, Rod, and Michael Fulmer again just not really sharp today, but again has gotten a lot of outs.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, they really haven't barreled him up all that much, other than Delmonico, who led off the game with a home run on their side. But he just needs to continue to work the way that he's working. He's getting close to his pitch count, so he's not going to be out there much longer. But Reynaldo Lopez on the other side, he has been dealing, and that's what he's been doing a lot of. That first pitch breaking ball that he throws to Jamer, he's done that a lot to the boys today, and they really have not been able to catch up with that fastball because he's mixed them up so well. He's had a good game.
He really has. Lopez has done good work against the Tigers this year, continues that here today, but maybe that'll come to an end now as the Tigers bring the top of the order up here in the sixth. Jamer looks at a ball high and outside, 2-0.
And Ronaldo, for the most part, his pitch count not all that bad. That was just his 80th pitch thrown. Still throwing hard, 95 to 98. We've seen a lot of Tigers a little bit tardy on the fastball today, and the reason for that is not that they can't turn around 95 to 98, but it's the way that Lopez has mixed in his other pitches, the changeups and the breaking balls, and he's put that thought into some of these Tigers' minds, and they have not been able to turn that fastball around.
Lopez will handle this one. Jamer's out of there, one gone.
They got a bunch of cats around here, man, with shoes on their head.
It must be a Chicago thing.
It must be.
Meanwhile, it's quite a stretch now for Lopez. He's retired 8 straight. Yep, it's an epidemic.
The millennials, man, you just don't know these days.
No, you don't.
Got a mind of their own.
Wow.
My goodness.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's lined to short on one hop. Anderson from the grass throws. Not in time. Too much speed for Jones.
Anderson also took his time. I mean, he got to the ball in a timely manner. The ball was hit like a bullet, but he kind of deliberately took his time to make sure he had a great throw instead of getting rid of it. And that allowed Jacoby to beat that ball out. Watch Anderson once he gets it. I mean, he grabs it, takes his time, and then he throws it. I mean, you got to be a little quicker when you got a guy like Jacoby running. See if Jacoby will steal a base here. He was on earlier in the game, and he did not try to steal, but we told you that Reynaldo Lopez is rather deliberate and slow, and we're not using that slide step. Let's see if he wants to get in the scoring position for Castellanos.
Castellanos was up there in a big spot in the third, first and third, 2 outs, and Lopez struck him out.
How refreshing is it, though, Mario, to see? I mean, at times, routine ground balls to the infielders, and then Tigers getting infield singles. We saw Nico Goodrum do it twice in New York, and that's another infield single by Jacoby. So these guys are really hustling down that line. A couple of hungry players, too.
Gardias mentioned over and over that even though this team has lost some games here down the stretch, they're playing hard. Fly ball driven to right field. Polka to the track to make the catch. 2 away now.
See what Ronaldo does to Victor Martinez this time around. The first time around, he started Victor off with a fastball. Next time up, off-speed pitch. But Victor's one of those veteran hitters that pretty much will always look for his fastball against a guy like Lopez. That's just what you have to do.
22 pitch third for Lopez, his only really stressful inning. He's retired 9 of 10. Victor a strikeout and a flyout. Ball 1. Doug Teeter doing some glove repair work.
And Doug is the head athletic trainer. Trainers have a lot of hats they've got to wear down in that dugout. It's a McCannon's glove.
It is. It's probably one of the things that Doug worked on in the minor leagues and learned in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
You string those gloves, mitts. High fly ball down the right field line, curling, and Polka gets there right up against the railing. That'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left, and a pretty good play here by Polka.
pretty good here. You know, we talked about him trying to get back to that delivery from his 2016 campaign. What Michael said is, hey, I'm 25 years old. I'm healthy. Of course, he won Rookie of the Year in 2016. Last year, made his first All-Star appearance. So what he said was, I know this year I had the oblique injury. He was out for 5 weeks. Of course, last September, a year ago, he had that ulnar nerve transposition surgery, but neither of those did he feel like were related to his delivery overall. So that's why Rick Anderson and Michael both trust that for him to get back to that 2016 form, that's not going to have any effect on durability or anything to that effect.
Well, when you go on the DL, and certainly Fulmer has battled some injuries the last couple of years, but there's always the wonderment, are you totally healthy? And I'm sure he's being asked that question over and over. How do you feel? How do you feel? And he's answered it quite a bit. 1-2 is the count now on the leadoff man, Omar Narvaez. Only one hit surrendered today by Fulmer, the home run to Delmonico.
And Michael's still throwing hard. That last fastball right there at 97 miles an hour. And Michael at pitch number 90. This is more than likely his final inning of work today.
Narvaez down on strikes. Time to go back to college with Nissan as Mr. Polka steps in here. Polka played his college ball at Georgia Tech. Hit 41 homers there. And was Arizona's third-round pick back in 2013 out of Tech. Action in the Tigers bullpen. Verhagen, the right-hander, warming up. Polka hit a home run yesterday, which was measured with an exit velocity of 112 miles an hour.
He does not get cheated. He's got a violent swing.
Twenty home runs, third among rookies in the American League. One and two on Polka. He's put the ball on the ground twice in this game. 2-2. Oh, look out. Right back off the leg of Fulmer.
Oh, my goodness.
And Michael gets to his feet, but initially it looked like he was really hurt. The last guy you want to take a line drive against is Polka. That thing rolled right to Goodrum, who got him out easily.
Oh, my goodness, man. That thing had to leave his bat, man, at 115 miles an hour. It was absolutely smoked at Michael. 116 miles an hour off the bat. You've got no time to react when a ball's coming at you that quickly. Where to get him at, do you know?
Well, somewhere in the leg. I don't know if it was the thigh.
He won't rub it. Yeah, he's in a lot of pain, man. I know it, man. Goodness gracious.
It's coming out.
Oh, he's got to. That's a man right there. And walking off the mound after that.
He literally refused to go down to the ground. I mean, it buckled him, but he immediately got up and walked around. Let's see where it got him. Oh, man. 116 right back to the box, and it drilled Fulmer. So Verhagen will take over, and we'll be back. Fulmer was literally knocked out of this game on that line drive by Polka.
This is awfully dangerous. I mean, we talked about Polka and how hard he hits the baseball. A few left-handers hit it as hard as he does, and man, he smoked Michael Fulmer. Michael got right back up and walked off the mound, so that's a good sign. Did it hit him in the shoe? I'm not sure where it got him at yet.
It appeared to hit him in the shin. So now Drew Verhagen will come on for the Tigers in a wall side windows pitching change. Drew had a great month of August, was the Tigers pitcher of the month in August.
And because he had that great month of August, he has started to gain Ron Gardenhire's trust in high leverage situations. And this is a high leverage situation, real close ball game up until this point.
17 strikeouts in 11 outings in the month of August.
And Drew's got a really good fastball, tops out at about 96, although he does not pitch at 96. He probably pitches at 93, 94 with good movement. Gets lots of ground balls, and he's got a really nice 12-6 curveball. Here's a slow look. You can definitely tell, I believe it's off the shin.
Now the 2-1 to Castillo is a ball outside, 3-1. Kind of gives you an idea of how hard that ball was hit. It rolled right to Goodrum, who recorded the out. Swing and a miss. 3-2 now on Wellington Castillo. Last year with the Orioles, hit 20 homers. The 3-2. Sox lead 1-0. Got a run in the first off Fulmer, and it has held up so far. Michael knocked out of the game here on the line drive in the 6th. And again the 3-2. High fly ball, deep left center field. Jones on the run. Jacoby has room to end the inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left. 7th inning coming up. Channel 9 in Windsor when I was a kid, but no, I've never been curling.
The game is really changing with the bullpens dancing after home runs. Now you've got the Houston Astros with what they've been doing lately after home runs. The younger players are having a lot of fun.
Here's Nico Goodrum as we go to the 7th inning facing Lopez in a 1-0 game. And Nico in the ball game is strikeout and a flyout. Nico skies this one deep to center field. Does it have enough? Leaping try, and that ball is out of here. It's gone, a home run for Goodrum. Just enough to creep over the fence in center field. Tie ball game. Is number 16 for Goodrum.
Engel looked like he almost made that play in center field. We showed you a highlight reel of him a little earlier. He can rob some home runs in center field. He's got great athleticism. He got a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, and he flipped it to center field. It had some air underneath it, and look at the timing here of Engel. He nearly made another play out there.
45th RBI for Goodrum, his 3rd home run on this road trip.
3rd home run in his last 5 games. That was a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. We told you earlier that he hit a 100-mile-per-hour fastball out against Ronaldo Lopez in Yankee Stadium.
Here is James McCann, a flyout and a strikeout.
And one more look at the near catch by the talented center fielder Engel. How close did he get? Oh my goodness. He's no joke, is he?
Got some hops. That ball drilled in the air to center field. Engel going back on this one to the edge of the track to make the catch. One gone here in the 7th. Let's bring in Johnny Kane.
All right, Mario, we're trying to get to the bottom of this deal. Matthew's locked in. Matthew from Indiana with the 1 shoe. Cannon from the Virgin Islands, the double shoe. What's happened over here? What's going on?
Well, you see, it was raining earlier, and I was just trying to keep my hair dry. And the shoe was the best thing I had, so I just kind of put it over there. My arms started getting tired, so I just set it on top of my head, and I was working for a while.
It's a nice flow.
Yeah.
Let's see your left foot. Get it up there.
There's a hole in it.
There's a hole in the bottom of it. Cannon, you went with the double shoe approach. I mean, they do sell umbrellas and ponchos around somewhere, I would think, but this is the best way you can come up with, right?
Yeah, yes, sir, it is.
Let's see the bottoms of your feet.
Sure. Pretty nice right now, a little wet.
All right, hey, we also have to ask here. You know who Dick Allen is? Oh, it's not casualty.
I'm so sorry.
Or is this just a T-shirt that you just found?
Oh, it was a T-shirt my dad gave me.
There you go.
So they were handing these out when was that, last season, Dad? Yeah, that's shirts, and he gave me this one.
You know who Rod Allen is?
Sorry, no.
Oh, sorry, Rod.
Okay. Hey, I knew that he had that hat. I knew he had that shoe up there because he didn't want to get his hair wet, though.
That's right. No, you did call it. Hey, and for a guy, I respect the guy who's trying to keep the hair dry.
Thank you. Thank you.
That ball rifled to left. It is going to fall right in the glove of Delmonico. Some hard hit balls here in the 7th.
Yeah, they have had some better at bats 3rd time through the lineup here against Lopez. Leave it to Johnny to track him down.
Do you know who Rod Allen is? Sorry, no.
He didn't know who Dick Allen was either, so I don't feel so bad.
At least he was polite about it.
He was.
That's a sweet shirt, though.
Two gone. And a fly ball to center. Engel will cruise under this one. So after the home run, 3 quick outs. Homer by Nico, though, has tied this one up here in the 7th. Epidemic here in Chicago. Shoes on the head. Shoe umbrellas. Chicago. It is a 1-1 ball game. The Tigers and the Chicago White Sox. Scary moment earlier in this game. Still waiting word on Michael Fulmer out on his condition, but he was hit on a line drive about 116 miles per hour. So waiting on to see where exactly he stands physically, but that was a scary moment.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Anytime a ball comes off the bat at 116 miles an hour and hits you flush like it hit Michael, it's going to hurt. We do know that much. We're still waiting on word to see how Michael is doing. But the good sign, though, partner, is the fact that Michael was able to walk off the mound by himself.
How about Nico Goodrum, man? He just continues to get it done. A solo shot against Lopez. Tigers really couldn't break through against him. Hit a ball just over the center field wall, but he's been hot.
Man, he's fun to watch. I mean, going back to spring training, Ron Gardenhire talked to Al Avila into bringing him to spring training. They didn't know where he was going to play. Just bring him here. We'll figure it out. Man, they figured it out. They can't get him out of the lineup. He's playing first, second, short, third, all the outfield positions with the exception of center field. So Nico just continues the ball, and he continues to keep Tigers in games.
And the Tigers have knotted this one up, and so they will go to the bottom of the 7th here. And now it's going to be decided by the bullpens. And a wall-side windows pitching change. Blaine Hardy will come in.
And Blaine Hardy, anytime he goes out there, he can give you multiple innings. Blaine pitching in his 24th game this year, 78 1/3 combined, because he has started quite a few games. He's had a wonderful year. 3.91 earned run average to go along with the 58 strikeouts and just 20 walks.
Verhagen facing one batter. He got the fly out of Castillo. Now it's Davison here. They play in the pull. Tied at 1 in the 7th. And Davison rifles one. Oh, what a leaping play there by Ronnie Rodriguez.
Look out, Ronnie. I see you, boy. I see you. The energy that these guys are playing with is a welcome sight. El Felino is his nickname. It's his stage name because he's a rapper, but when he's not rapping, he's playing baseball, and El Felino also means quick like a cat. And Ronnie was quick like a cat right there. Look at the hops, though. Some style points for that.
Yoan Moncada will bat now with 1 out here in the 7th. Moncada with a walk and a fly ball.
Hardy's going to give you a fastball that probably will top out at about 89, maybe 90 miles an hour. He cuts the fastball. He'll fade the fastball. He's got a good changeup. He's got a good breaking ball. He'll mix all those pitches in, and he'll throw all those pitches in any count. He's not predictable. Probably will throw an off-speed pitch right here in this fastball count.
The chopper back to the mound, and Hardy will gather this one, and very quickly here in the 7th inning now. Hardy has retired a couple of outs.
This is Blaine Hardy at his best. I mean, it's a 2-1 count. You've got a guy up there that's got a little bit of power, so he pulls the string here with a changeup. And by throwing that changeup, you get him out in front, and he hits it right off the end of the bat. It's a beautiful pitch.
Here is Tim Anderson now with 2 away.
I also like the pace that Blaine works with, man. When he's on that mound, he gets that ball back on the mound. He's ready to chuck that next pitch. Keeps the defenders on their toes. That's how you get plays like Ronnie Rodriguez made behind you when you work as quickly as Blaine does.
Cue down the right field line. Fair ball going to roll to the corner. Anderson will have extras. And he will stop with a 2-out, 2-base hit.
When Anderson first came to the major leagues a few years ago, he was a guy that really was a dead pull hitter. But this year with the hitting coach Todd Steverson, he's really started to use right field a little bit more. He's used right field quite a bit against us this season. Kind of fights off that 85-mile-per-hour fastball the other way for a stand-up double.
Adam Engel will try and drive him in. That is their first hit since the home run by Delmonico in the 1st. 2 hits today for the White Sox. That is it. Ground out strikeout for Engel. Those 2 at bats versus Fulmer.
Has not been a lot of offense in this game. That's where you want to throw Engel. You don't want to throw Engel inside because he's one of those guys that loves to pull the baseball. And the reason why he pulls the baseball is because he really violently with that front shoulder opens up to the pull side. You throw him down and away, more than likely he's not going to hurt you there, but he'll hurt you on balls inside.
Got him, strike three. Engel didn't like it. He's caught looking, and nothing comes of the 2-out, 2-base hit. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire.
In this one, Nicky Delmonico, he greeted Michael Fulmer with the first pitch that he threw of the game for a solo shot that went into right center field. Took the Tigers a while before they got to Reynaldo Lopez, but it was Nico Goodrum. With his 16th round tripper of the season, he connected in the 7th frame. 3rd home run for Nico in the last 5 games.
So we'll go to the 8th, all tied at 1 run apiece. Only 2 hits for Chicago, just 4 for the Tigers. And the Sox go to the bullpen now. Lopez is going to be done after 7 innings of work. It's going to be Ian Hamilton, who was recently called up from the minor leagues. Hamilton was a closer down at AA and AAA and combined to have 22 saves down in the minors this year.
He's got a big arm. His fastball can get all the way up to 99 miles an hour. Every now and then the youngster will reach triple digits. He also has a slider, but he's throwing his fastball 83% of the time. So Tigers need to get ready to hit it. Another hard thrower out of the bullpen.
Major league debut on the 31st of August against Boston, and he did well, retiring all 3 batters.
First pitch breaking ball. "22 games in Charlotte, a 1.71 ERA, 28 strikeouts. He didn't walk very many. Really good numbers down there. Was that easy 97?
0-2 on Reyes, who had a triple but did not score in the 3rd.
And next homestand, the Tigers are probably going to see the hardest throw in the big leagues. That kid Jordan Hicks out of the bullpen for the St. Louis Cardinals, a right-hander, a rookie with a blazing fastball.
Again, sliced foul out of play. What we're learning, though, is these guys throw harder and harder. The guys are able to get around and hit those fastballs that reach triple digits. We've seen Nico turn some pretty good fastballs around this year. I mean, you've seen these guys at the minor league levels throwing this hard. 0-2. Sawed him off. New bat for Reyes.
He hates that, though. That bat did him good. I'm sure that's the bat he used yesterday in New York. That bat had 5 hits in it, and most of them were extra base hits.
Here's the Ram pick the stick update.
Oh, look at you with Nico. Big pick today. Big pick.
Simo snatched Jacoby from me.
Yep, you're kind of glad now.
Now I'm all right with the selection.
I've had a horrible week. Pick the stick this week. It goes like that sometimes. Sometimes you have a good week. Sometimes you have a horrible week. This was a bad week for Mr. Rod Allen. I think I may have got 3 points the entire road trip.
I think York was kind of sounding off on the pregame segment on Pick the Stick and how it's all over. The race is over.
He was.
He thinks it's already done.
Well, apparently Mickey don't know that you got to finish the season. This is 162 games last time I checked, right?
He's taking a victory lap already.
Oh, that's not good.
1-2. Swing and miss, man. Tied him up. Victor goes down, 1 away.
Good pitch here by Hamilton. Good breaking ball. Oh my goodness, that's an outstanding breaking ball. 83. 97 with the fastball. You got an 83 mile per hour breaking ball with that much depth and tilt on it.
Jamer Candelario now.
Jamer slapped a base hit the opposite way his first time up today. Right past Yomer Sanchez. Yomer was standing in that same spot back in the first. Lots of room on the left side of the infield. They bunch Jamer on the right side. Anderson, Moncada, and Davidson.
Hamilton, 23 years old. He is a native of Vancouver, Washington. Played his college ball in the Great Northwest at Washington State. Pullman. Here's the 1-1. Pulled on the ground. Sprawling stop. Davidson. Hamilton covers for the out. They sit taken away from Jamer.
Davidson does not get many reps over at first base. Jose Abreu pretty much occupies that position on a daily basis. But one step of the dive here, he knew Hamilton would be at the bag, and he led him beautifully. It's a hard hit ball there by Candelario.
Here is Jacoby Jones. Chop to the third baseman, cut off by Sanchez, and Jacoby's out, and Hamilton, a snappy 1-2-3 inning, will go to the bottom of the 8th.
The home run early in the game to Delmonico, and he kind of settled in after that, but he did have some bouts of wildness in the third and fourth frames. He walked 4 total here today. Michael was knocked out of the game literally by a line drive by Daniel Cole. That was the final pitch that Michael threw.
Nicky Delmonico will lead it off here in the 8th. Delmonico, Sanchez, Narvaez, top 3.
Michael threw a total of 96 pitches today, and 54 of 96 were fastballs, but the command was not good. Only 33 strikes of the 54 fastballs he threw, so that's not Michael Fulmer. That's pretty much, you know, not a bad thing. I guess he only gave up the 1 run, but yet Michael still knows that the command with the fastball needs to be a little better than it was today.
Delmonico hit the home run against Fulmer, but against lefties, batting only 171.
Michael did start to incorporate a few more changeups in his last couple of outings. The changeup usage was probably up to 18–19% here today, which is a lot higher than it was earlier in the year.
Delmonico is out of there, 1 gone. Hardy with his 2nd strikeout. Hey, Manager Green Team in franchise mode, plus get weekly stats, roster updates, and more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. Strike 1 to Sanchez. Got a walk on his resume today. He is 0 for 2 otherwise.
Blaine Hardy can just pitch, man. I mean, fastball does not top out at 95 miles an hour. He just works at about 89 to 90, but works all 4 quadrants of the strike zone, keeps the ball down, changes speeds, works quick, does a lot of things positive on the mound.
Verhagen came on to get 1 out in the 6th, and then Hardy gave up a 2-out double, but no damage in the 7th. It'll miss high, 2-2. Yolmer Sanchez now has a 22-game on base streak that he extended in the 3rd with a walk. Trying to reach here in the 8th. Fly ball in the air toward right center. And Castellanos runs it down, 2 away. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. It's actually turned into a pretty nice day here in Chicago now. We had a threat of rain through most of the afternoon, but the lights are on. Still not as dark as it was here about an hour ago. It was really dark. And the rain was falling. It is cleared away now. Narvaez with a walk. He is 0 for 2. Hardy has been very efficient. Two and 1. Outside now, 3 and 1. Getting word on Michael Fulmer now, a bruised right shin, which we expected. He is day to day. Cautionary reasons came out. Not to mention it had to hurt really bad.
Oh my goodness. It's going to hurt for a while. Can you imagine how black and blue that thing's going to be?
116 miles an hour off the bat. Square on the shin. Here's the upcoming pitching matchup presented by Wallside Windows. It'll be Liriano and Giolito tomorrow.
And Giolito did not get off to a really good start this year, but they kept him in the big leagues anyway because he had nothing to prove in the minor leagues, and lately he has started to pitch a whole lot better for his squad. Tigers will counter with Francisco Liriano.
Tigers are expected to call up a couple of minor league starters. Whether or not they work out of the bullpen or in the rotation up here remains to be seen. But Liriano's spot is still safe for the time being. You just wonder going forward, though, how the Tigers will mix in their youngsters. Swing and a miss, and Narvaez is dusted. 3 strikeouts for Blaine Hardy. Good work out of the Tigers bullpen. We will go to the 9th. All tied at 1. All right, guys, it'll be Castellanos here in the 9th inning. Nick, then Martinez, then Goodrum. 1 run, 4 hits for the Tigers. 1 run, 2 hits for Chicago. Not a whole lot of offense going on today. Nicholas Hope for 3. Hamilton now gets a hand 0-2.
That's a hard slider right there. 91-mile-per-hour slider. Nicholas thought that ball was inside, but DJ Rayburn said nope, caught the inside corner.
Hamilton, the White Sox field, has stuff to be a future closer. He was closing in the minor leagues, had 22 of them this year. High octane fastball, good slider that you just saw. Sail outside. 98. Tigers have some power here in the 9th, trying to break a 1-1 tie. Swing and miss. Castellanos out on strikes. He fans for the 2nd time in this game. 2nd strikeout for Hamilton. Celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Tigers' 68 World Championship team. September 8th, Tigers host the Cardinals. 6:10 start. Get there early. A special pregame on-field ceremony at 5:15. Brought to you by Comerica Bank. Go to tigers.com for more info. Nice round of applause now as Jace Fry will be coming into the ball game. Hamilton, good work. Facing 4 batters, he got all 4 and struck out 2. We'll be back.
Notice there was a little rain here in the ballpark, and we put Johnny Kane up to go find out why all the shoes are on the heads. And Matthew gave Johnny a nice analysis as to why he had the shoe on the head, and he also had a hole in his sock. To talk to his mom about that. That's why your mom always tells you, man, make sure when you go out of the house that you don't have holes in your sock. You never know.
She is not going to be happy. Wall side windows pitching change. It'll be Jace Fry coming in now for the Sox.
Fry's got good stuff. I mean, 62 strikeouts. He's only walked 59, 42, 43 and 2/3 innings. He's got power stuff. Now that's the one thing that Rich Renteria, every time he gets an opportunity, he will turn Victor Martinez around to the right side. He feels like Victor's a much better left-handed hitter. He feels like Victor has more power left-handed, but Victor actually has a better average batting right-handed, better career average. Victor's at 300 batting right-handed.
Fry goes up top, and the count is 2-0. White Sox have gotten some pretty good work out of their staff today. 8 strikeouts, no walks. And they've only gone to a 3-ball count 4 times, but now Fry is on the cusp with a 2-0 count. Now it's 3-0.
It's only been 2 men in the history of the game manage both the the White Sox and the Cubs. Renteria is one, and Johnny Evers is the other. A few years back, before the Cubs got Joe Madden, it was Renteria that was looking over that rebuild. Now he's looking over the rebuild here on the south side of Chicago.
Of the Tinker to Evers to Chance fame. 3-1. Belted to left field. That ball is way back, and we are no longer tied. Victor Martinez showed up to the ballpark sick today, but he's feeling good right now.
Every chance Rich Renteria gets to turn Victor around, he does it, and Victor made him pay this time. That is also the 3rd home run of the road trip for Victor Martinez.
Two-1 ball game. That'll bring Tigers fans to their feet.
Victor got a 3-1 fastball at 92 miles an hour. And look at Victor clear the hips out of the way. He gets those hips out of the way, and he's able to turn on it. And he's a veteran hitter, man. He don't miss his fastballs.
Here is Goodrum.
Now Shane Green's going to have to get up after throwing 30 pitches yesterday in New York. So I guess he's good to go.
21st career home run in this ballpark now for Victor Martinez. And only the 5th Tigers hit, but they lead 2-1.
And one more look at the Victor Martinez swing on the 92-mile-per-hour fastball that Fry tried to sneak inside on him. What StatCast got for us? Exit velocity of 107. Victor, 39 years old, still generating that kind of exit velocity. And a 416-foot home run.
Nico homered in the 7th inning to give the Tigers a tie at that point.
What has it been with the Tigers and all the home run balls? Like, they hit a bunch of home runs in New York in the 4-game series. They homered here a couple times.
From a team that has been last in home runs in the American League all year. They're still last, but they're padding their totals. Nico looks the ball inside, and now the count will go to 3-2.
And go figure. You know, the Tigers playing another 1-run game. 3 of the 4 games in New York were decided by 2 runs or fewer. Right now, this is a 1-run contest.
Chopped left side of the infield. Sanchez will backhand. And Nico is out by a step. It's the 2nd out of the inning. Game 2 tomorrow night in this series. Tigers and White Sox will be on the air live at 7 with your coverage. Tigers Live pregame right here. Fox Sports Detroit. It'll be game 2. Green tuning up now, and he will face Palka, Castillo, and Davidson. Those are the hitters that are due up.
And 3 guys that have a lot of power. Good changeup there thrown by Fry.
"17 home runs now in the last 11 games for the Tigers. They've turned up the power. McCann 0 for 3. Fry goes to 2-1. Sox got a home run in the 1st, did not have a hit until the double in the 7th by Tim Anderson. Michael Fulmer and a couple of relievers have done terrific work. Pulled on the ground to short, surrounded by Anderson, and McCann is out. That will end the inning. Tigers go ahead. Jace Fry gives it up. Shane Green going to be coming in, protecting a 1-run lead. Home run by Martinez makes it 2-1 in favor of the Tigers. On the Victor Martinez solo shot, and now Shane Green coming on and try and record a save for the Tigers.
Green had a bumpy outing yesterday in the Bronx. He needed 30 pitches to finally get out of the inning and preserve the win for the Tigers. I was talking to Ron Gardenhire before the game today. I was asking him about the availability of Green. He said, well, you know Green's going to want to pitch. There's no doubt about that. But he also feels like Green can get the job done after just 30 pitches yesterday.
So here is Daniel Palka to lead things off. It'll be Palka, Castillo, Davidson.
Ooh, get the married men off the infield when Palka's up there. My goodness.
Missing outside 1-0 on Palka, who literally knocked Fulmer out of the game with his 116-mile-an-hour line drive off his shin.
And the Tigers are playing their prevent defense right now. It's football season, so I thought I'd throw that in. All the outfielders are rather deep. There will be nothing hit over their head unless it goes out of the ballpark. And Nico Goodrum really hugging that line down at first base. They're trying to prevent a double.
One and two on Palka. 0 for 3 in this game.
You might want to climb the ladder with a really good fastball, but it's got to be a good fastball to see if you can get Palka to swing through it and miss it or pop it up.
Whistled foul.
Threw a breaking ball up and in, and he turned on it. Dude, try to catch that ball.
Up and in, 2-2. Green appeared twice in the Yankees series. High drive into deep left field. Way back, and that ball is gone. Palka has done it again against the Tigers. He has tied it up. Opposite field shot. 2-2 game.
Palka homered twice yesterday against the Boston Red Sox and ties the score for his team in the bottom half of the ninth. He's got some great power.
21st home run of the year for Daniel Palka. Here is Wellington Castillo. Strike one on Castillo. Juan Minaya now starting to throw in the Sox pen.
And Palka gets to wear the Sox chain that whenever someone gets a home run, they get to put that chain on. Some of the players are wearing chains like that on the baseball field these days.
Two home runs on the day for the Sox. The other belongs to Delmonico. Castillo did not go. So Green, one day after throwing 30 pitches in New York, comes back and surrenders the home run to Palka here in the ninth. And he's hit some big ones this year. That is his 6th home run that he has hit in the 9th inning this year. Here's the 2-1.
Green threw 5 pitches to Daniel Polka before Polka connected on the 2-2, 95-mile-per-hour tailing fastball away from him. And Victor Reyes running out of room and left. All the scoring today, courtesy the home run ball. 2 by the White Sox and 2 by the Tigers. That ball buckled James McCann there.
Castillo last year had 20 home runs for the Orioles. He's got 6 this year. Sliced the other way, base hit. Wellington Castillo is aboard with a single.
Probably get a pinch runner for Wellington.
Ryan Cordell, who was just called up, will pinch run up from the minor leagues. Bring up Matt Davidson now. It's going to bring out Rick Anderson as well. Cordell will make his major league debut as a pinch runner. And now there is action in the Tigers bullpen. That is Buck Farmer.
They got Cordell from the Milwaukee Brewers in the Anthony Swarzak deal that happened 7/26/17. So a year ago they acquired Cordell.
Now more power coming up. It's Davidson, who drilled a line drive in the 7th that was caught on a leaping play by Ronnie Rodriguez.
Davidson's got a lot of power. If you're Shane Green, you have to maybe go inside. If you want to eventually get him out of the way, you might have to show him inside at some point in time. You can't throw every pitch away to Davidson. He can reach those right field seats. He's got that kind of power.
Tigers playing very deep in the outfield. Davidson launches one to left. It's deep. Reyes back, and it's gone. A game winner.
Man, you got to be kidding me. Davidson and Polka have destroyed us this year.
Homer to tie it. 2-run homer to win it. And the White Sox walk off the Tigers.
White Sox are playing some really good baseball right now. They've won 14 of their last 20.
Now we send you to the Coliseum Studios. Mickey York standing by with Tigers Live postgame.